Welcome to the Whiskey Chasers, where we talk about our passion for whiskey and its history, either amongst ourselves or while interviewing distilleries, all while enjoying a glass. I'm Steve.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Chris.
Please enjoy responsibly while enjoying this week's episode of the Whiskey Chasers.
We were talking about Boswell's Northwoods, which is what we're going to smoke. That is what
we're going to smoke with this bottle today.
With a new bottle.
It's the McClellan, the new McClellan.
Basically, you can say that it's a good replacement.
Good replacement. There we go. And this is aged 8 years.
Yeah, this is at least an 8 year 10. Yeah.
Okay.
That we're going to pop
open. We're going to pop it today. Fantastic. And with it, we're having a local brand, a leather and oak, which is made in Hilliard here in Ohio. Yes. And so just a little bit outside of Columbus. They were nice enough to send us this bottle.
They were very nice to send us this bottle, as they wanted our opinion on it to see what we thought. Exactly. So we there's a TikTok rolling there just floating out there of just me talking about it, saying, "Hey, we're gonna have this on the podcast." But here's a brief idea of what I'm getting off of it. So this is the full episode,
the full thing,
the full thing,
the full Monty.
Yes,
the full Monty. So what's crazy is just to start it off, because I can't not talk right now. But I just popped this Northwoods, and I have tins of McClellan Throgmorton stored away, but that was my go-to blend back in the day. And popping this open, it's like I just popped a tin of McClellan. It smells like it, and even the cut is even the same, which I forgot about. So I'm pretty pumped, and it's really, look how dark that is. It's got a lot of Latakia. You see how dark that is?
Yeah. Is it dark from age or dark from the tobacco?
Both.
Really?
Yeah, both. There's a lot of Latakia in this blend to begin with. But you smell that?
That smells like straight up like campfire.
And it smells a lot like McClellan.
Smells amazing.
Yeah. For the people that know, it's like that without some of that vinegary. There's a little bit of vinegar that you get from McClellan that you don't exactly get here. But this is close. And like I was telling Steve a minute ago, I'm going to pack this pipe up. I'm only smoking corn cobs today. Because for the listeners, we're doing a camping whiskey thing. But I was telling Steve about this blend that I was back in the day, that was my go-to. Everyday blend was McClellan, regular old frog on a log, Throgmorton. And I think people listening probably know that by now because I've mentioned it a few times. That was my go-to every day. And I had tried, back when you could still get it, it was just regular production. I tried Boswell's Northwoods just because I heard it was good, and I like Boswell's stuff. And I remember trying it, and I was like, "Oh, this is very similar to my Throgmorton," But I liked it even enough on its own that I bought a bunch of tins of it, and I would smoke it periodically. And what was cool was when Throgmorton went out of business, or McClellan went out of business, I remember having that thought that, oh well, at least I still have Northwoods. Right. And then fast forward to the last couple of years. If you get online and you look up replacements for Throgmorton, Boswell's Northwoods is one of the top ones. So if you've ever wanted to try it and you can't get it, this is and it's available. You can buy this stuff. It's really good.
Yeah, you said this is still being made, still available for the most part. You can get a hold of it. Nice.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it's very close to what McClellan was doing without the fact that McClellan was using very special leaf that they couldn't get anymore, even towards the end of their thing. And I don't think, not to say that Jim's not getting good stuff, good leaf, but I think that McClellan was getting superior leaf.
I love how you talk about these guys like Jim from down the road.
Yeah, Jim Boswell. Yeah, no, if that's the thing about Boswell's is if you buy something from him, he will personally email you, the guy. Yeah, if you go to the store, he will talk to you. Him and his son and stuff. It's a family-run business, and his pipes are legendary. He makes big chunker pipes. Yeah. And he hand makes them, and every week he drops new pipes because he's I made 4 this week. Here you go. And they sell out, and that's it. And then he doesn't have any for another week. So if you go to a store, he has pipes, but online, he only drops so many per week. And they're reasonably priced. They're good, working man pipes. They're cool. Yeah. And they're one of a kind because he hand makes them. So, and then he hand blends these things, and just a really kind of nice, cool, down to earth sort of guy, but he's a legend. One of the legends.
One of the legends.
Legendary.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a nose. Too.
Yeah, it's got a very the nose is the leather oak, the bourbon. Yes, it's
got a schnoz.
It is got a lot of nose to it.
What's the proof on it?
It's 94.5.
It smells proofy. Like I haven't tried it yet, but boy, it's got some ethanol smell to it.
It's a little on the younger side. And so we don't know an age, but I believe it's like between like 3 and 4 in that realm.
That color is light. Light. So this was sent to us, right?
This was sent to us. Okay. Yes. As the story goes, Cody and I were at a Weller tasting and met one of their marketers or friend of the distillery that's a marketer for him. And
that's his job. He like markets
like on the side kind of deal. It's as I understand it, not necessarily a paid position, but one that he really enjoys doing. I believe he's good friends with the owner. And so when he found out he was doing his own stuff, was like, hey, I would love to help get this out there. So we got to talking to him, and he found out that we have a podcast, and then was like, well, have you guys ever tried this? And I'm pretty sure that Steve and I have met.
We met somebody at the Craft Spirits Festival.
Yep. They're in was it in Delaware?
It was up at Hemnick's Brewery.
So we met someone from the distillery up there. We got to try some of their stuff. I didn't remember much about their stuff, other than I recognized leather and oak as the name. And he was like, well, if we send you a bottle, would you guys be willing to share your thoughts on it and tell us what you think? Sure. Yeah. I'll take a bottle. Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I'll take a bottle and I'll give you my honest opinion.
For anyone listening, we will take a bottle.
and we will be honest about it.
Yeah.
Especially me. I'm not going to pull any punches.
We will gladly give our honest opinion on this guy. So it took them a while, but they sent us batch number 6 of their bourbon,
which is probably the newest.
Probably, yep.
I would guess that they didn't say this in their note, but based on timing of this, I think they were waiting until this batch came out before they sent it to us.
It sounds like it's very the guy was very cryptic and very secretive, because I was trying to pry out like, okay, can you tell me mash bill? Can you tell me anything about this? And he kept saying like, talk to the owner. You got to talk to Steve, I think is one of the owners. He's like, you got to talk to Steve. Got to talk to Steve. This is his passion. He loves talking about it. He'll give you all the details I probably couldn't. But he did. The only thing he did tell me was it is very small batch. And he was not even sure that he's had one batch taste the same as the other. Okay. Like they very much pull the batch out. They try it and they go, yep, this is good. This is what we want. We're going to put this out. But he's like, I don't know if we've ever had batches that were the exact same as the other one.
And it seems like there's a new batch about every 6 months is kind of at least here lately. That's been kind of their flow. I was doing some research on this and I was watching a YouTube video, and it was put out about 5 months ago. And the video was, I don't know when they recorded, but batch 5 was just about to come out at that time. So it seems about that. And this is batch number 6.
He also told me they have a 14-year, maybe a 14 or 16-year-old whiskey.
But that's not theirs.
It's not. So that one is not theirs.
But this is.
This is theirs.
Out of Hilliard.
Out of Hilliard, yep. So when they first got started, they were sourcing some stuff from local here in Ohio to get stuff out, get a product out, and really allow to finance the rest of the stuff that was sitting.
But now this is
now they're at the point where they can start pulling it even in small batches and start putting out their own stuff, which is so interesting. Like you just tried it.
Well, I'm trying not to like freak out over here, because I kind of came into this with like the nose smells kind of ethanol-y. Yes. It doesn't have a whole lot. It's an interesting nose, but it's not. Usually you get that and it's like a dud or like really not good. Yep. Like kind of like, oh, we're small time and it tastes small time. And then the color is very light.
For an American whiskey,
I don't know if I just paired this perfectly with this tobacco or what, but this is really good. Like, this is really good. And it's for only that proof, there's a whole lot of flavor going on.
There's a lot of flavor. Now, we have tried this once before.
We have.
And so we were at one of our club meetings, and so we had tried it there.
Have I tried this?
Yes, but very small amounts.
Okay. But here's the thing. So when we're at club together, we're trying 100 different bottles.
There's so many things.
We are
Yes.
trying everything. And so because of that, it's hard to know what's actually good and not, because everything's building on top of each other.
Yeah.
When we had this the first time, this to remind you of what you said at that time, it's the same thing we all said, which is like, this is a Werther's caramel. Like, it was
That's right.
straight
That's right.
caramel candy. And I don't get that this time. It's still caramel.
No.
Like, but
I'm getting a lot of what the name leather and oak, obviously, but also that's why I was saying, because we just lit up one of the most leather forward tobaccos that I would recommend to people, right? Because like English tobaccos are kind of leathery, the Latakia, but I have never equated like Nightcap to leather.
Right.
I've never been like, there's a lot of leather going on in Nightcap. Now, I did say that about McClelland. They're English blends all the time. And I actually say, the way I describe it is leather, and this is going to sound terrible, but burnt tire. And I like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
like,
in a
like
good way.
the smell of burnt tire, like burning rubber?
Like burning rubber, kind of, yeah.
Like, okay, tire on fire, or like you're doing donuts and burning rubber?
No, like tire on fire.
Okay, all
yeah.
right.
And then creosote, which I have said that about Nightcap. But the leather specifically, very leather, is McClelland, and also this blend, for sure. I mean, are you getting that quite a bit with that? It's a very rich
very
tobacco.
leathery. I don't know about the burnt tire, but the creosote and the leather, for sure. I get both of those.
Do you guys lick leather often, or like
Regularly, yeah.
On the regular,
If you sit in a real leather chair long enough, I feel like you're eating it. You know what I mean? The burnt tire I get more from McClelland, not so much this. If that's probably why you're not really getting any of that, or that's just crazy,
Right.
which it very well could be just my mental like illness, like of, oh yeah, burnt tire. Yeah, that's not normal.
not normal? Yeah. So the Gulf of Steve and Chris, you might remember this conversation when we had it first for the club when we opened it. We immediately read what it said on the back and went, okay.
Is it not? Is
No,
it kind of?
it says, so this bourbon balances the notes of vanilla, caramel, and oak with a rich, smooth finish. And we all went,
That's bourbon.
right, like that's bourbon,
Bourbon
right?
in general.
Yeah, this is before we even smelled it or anything.
To bourbon.
We all took a whiff of it and we went, oh, these are spot on notes. Like this is like butterscotch in a glass. Like normally they're like, yeah, you get leather or you get, oak or you get nuttiness and you
But
smell
this
it. You're
one
like,
was very caramely. I
This
do
is
remember.
very
The
caramely.
first time,
Like-
I'm not getting that much today, but this is the first thing I've drank all day. Well, bourbon, whiskey wise.
right.
And again, we're pairing it with this tobacco. So I don't know if that's part of it. I've smoked a little bit, then drank. But for one thing, this is pairing perfectly.
It really is.
And for another thing, this has just got a lot more flavor than I would have expected from Hilliard, Ohio. Just opened, not much color,
Right.
probably not aged that long.
Yeah, these guys have been around since 2019. And so they're 6 years old, basically. And they used to be up in Utica, Ohio.
Okay.
So north, a little bit farther north. They were called Mill Street Distillery.
I feel like I've heard of
And so that's how they started
Wait.
out.
We did one on not Cleveland, it was Cincinnati. Didn't Cincinnati have something to do with Mill Street?
Sycamore.
Sycamore, okay, maybe, okay.
No, so yeah, they used to be called Mill Street Distilling. They closed up shop.
Mill Street Blues.
Right. It's the same owners, same distiller, same everything. I think they just bought out some other people and then moved down here.
Okay.
And so like the barrel probably was stamped with Mill Street Distilling. Like, so basically just a name change and they moved locations. They have a Rickhouse in Groveport. So that's where
Where
they're
at in
keeping,
Groveport?
it's probably some warehouse down there.
Yeah, some barn down there. For
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
And so, but they're distilling in Hilliard there in like their garage. And so this is a very small batch sort of operation. They're using a 75-gallon pot still. Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
funny you bring that up because the owner Steve was nice enough. I'm pretty sure it was Steve that did all this, but he sent us a whole note, like a whole page of like apologizing for it taking so long, but explaining like this is their newest batch and the awards they've won. But at the end of it, he also said, would love to have you guys here. Just call my cell phone ahead of time because we're a very small operation.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, it seems kind of odd that you're giving out your cell phone number to be like, yeah, we're just really tiny. And then you just mentioned their size of their still. I'm like, well, that is
Tiny.
That is
That
tiny,
cell phone
tiny.
number that you're talking about, that's what's on the website.
Yeah.
So like,
but still, like that's tiny, tiny. Like
that is all they have. They do all the distilling there in like a 2-car garage, and so yeah, and that's where they bottle
That's
it
like
and do all that
smaller
stuff.
than that 451.
Right.
Yeah. So this is a small
But I like
operation.
that. The fact they're putting out something of this like quality.
I want to know what they're doing.
They won their double gold in San Francisco, which we've talked about that.
Means
that
a lot.
May or may not mean things.
They may or may not be a thing.
But it did get them into like Forbes magazine and all that kind of
You
stuff.
get the sticker.
So-
Hey, you get the sticker on your
Exactly.
bottle. I'm
Yeah.
cool with it.
Well, I get that we've talked about that competition, like if you submit, you get a sticker kind of thing. You get some kind of medal. We often equate that like, is your stuff junk?
Right.
Like really, what do you really put out?
My
This
thing,
is not.
I don't know if I don't remember if we talked about this aspect of that or not. But like, if you are, whether you win it or not, if you are submitting something, you probably have a good product, right? Because that means
You
you
would
care
hope,
enough.
yeah.
That you care enough, and you're trying to.
Or
And
you're just looking for
and
the
you think you
accolades.
might do well.
And yeah, you think you might do well. I mean, if you're just submitting to submit, you're probably sourcing anyway. So who cares? But like, if you make it yourself and you put yourself in for it, that means you have faith in your product, and that means it's probably good.
Yeah. When we were looking into all that, what I took out of my research into the San Francisco spirits competition is like double gold and above is actually good. Gold is pretty good, but like most things would win gold. If you have silver on it, you shouldn't do that.
You just shouldn't put it on there.
That's kind of when I was looking at like the list of all the winners, there was a big gap between double gold and gold in terms of like the number of people that won everything, because they separate out the categories for this thing like insane. There's thousands of categories. So because of that, there's thousands of golds. And then as they narrow down, they go to the double gold. And I don't know what else there is. I think there's something above that.
So they're making their own, the tiny operation. Do we know anything about mash bill or
So you threw me off a little bit, because I thought when I looked at this video from 5 months ago, I was like, all right, this is going to be pretty current. And they probably aren't going to do the thing they were talking about by now. But we're talking 2 batches later, because 5 was just about to come out. They were drinking 4. At that time, their mash bill was 100% corn.
Wow, that's different.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say this is 100%.
No,
corn.
this is not.
This
So-
has
No
got
way.
some. I feel like this has got some rye or something.
So
a little bit of spice to it.
they talked about their new mash bill, and I don't know the percentages, but it is a rye and malted barley, corn, rye, and malted barley. And based on what they were talking, it sounds like the malted barley was a little bit higher than like their normal small,
Maybe
small
like a
amounts.
9%.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now, also watching this video makes me want to go to their distillery and take them up on this offer and maybe interview them, because they have a farm up in Delaware where they raise rye, and they have a bottle of rye.
I thought that it was harder to grow here.
Rye does okay in Ohio, and so it's because it's wintry here, so that's okay. They don't make enough rye on their own farm to do anything bottling wise. It's too small of a field. They can do some experimental stuff, and they might come out with some specialty bottles in the future, but nothing that's going to be on the market on a regular basis. They did, though, have some other Ohio grown rye that's not theirs that were bottling. And so it sounds like there's a decent chance of a rye in their future.
So it might make okay. That makes sense. Okay.
Which I want to know what they're doing to get this kind of flavor.
Yeah.
Because if
this
you have
is
a
a very
rye, and
unique flavor.
you can kind of get this flavor with a rye, or be unique with the flavor you get out of the rye. Now I'm very interested. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, there's a good amount of flavor that's unique enough to. I haven't had anything like that specifically in a while. There's not a super long lasting finish, but I didn't even expect there to be this much flavor in the beginning. So what it's lacking in finish, it's making up for in flavor. For again, something that's starting out probably doesn't have a ton of time on it. I'm pleasantly surprised.
I'm too.
I kind of came in thinking this was going to be like a blah, blah, blah. And I mean, and we're going to talk about some kind of blah, blah, blah stuff, which there's nothing wrong with that, because we're doing this camping whiskey kind of theme. And that kind of is blah, 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 right? You know what I mean? Like, you don't want the whiskey to take over your camping experience. It's just going to you're eating beans, for crying out loud, right? You're sitting around a campfire eating beans. You just want to, and
Corn
you
cakes.
actually don't want something with a long finish.
Yeah, you don't want something with a long finish. You don't want anything super complex. You want something that matches where you are and your experience.
Woodsy
Yeah.
campfire kind of.
I was gonna say you're normally camping when it's hot out too. Like that, the season is gonna be hotter,
Right. So
this
you
is
want
perfect.
something lighter.
right?
By
a
the time
little
you
bit.
practice, it should be chilled out enough a little bit. But the only other thing that I would say it would be the price, because for camping whiskey, you'd also want it to be probably around a certain price.
Yeah, right.
So what are we looking at for this? Do we have any idea?
I don't know off the top of my head. Steve's gonna look, but funny you mentioned not price tag, but the flavor you're getting and everything, Chris. It took me 2 times of trying this, so this is my third time having it. The second time, it took me almost 20 minutes to figure out what it was that I feel like I was getting, what this reminded me of, and why I'm not appalled by it. I'm not gravitating towards it, but I'm not upset. Yeah. This is the most Canadian flavored whiskey I've had from America.
It's because it's sweet a little bit, and it's got some rind to it. That's
It's also got that like traditional like caramel maple kind of syrupy kind of flavor without being syrupy.
It's not, and I wouldn't, for anybody listening, I wouldn't think maple.
Right.
But I see what you're saying. But the syrupiness is not a thick syrupy.
Yes.
It's just a little sweet.
Yeah.
It's very kind of a thin whiskey in the air quotes mouth feel. And in a good way, though. I like that, especially for what you're talking about for camping whiskey.
Right.
It's not clawingly thick. It's not super sweet, but it's not unsweet either. Right. It's got the bourbon sweetness with a little bit more of a punch of, I hate to say leather, but because it's on the bottle, but that's literally what it is. Granted, we are smoking this English tobacco, but I am getting quite a bit of not campfire, but kind of like that
camping-esque
Char.
Char.
Yeah.
Char. That's the word. Yeah.
It's $60. Okay. Yeah, 59 and some change. So $60, which is probably the top end of your like going camping kind of bottle.
Yeah, you're paying a tax for being small batch.
Exactly.
At that point.
You're paying a tax for local.
Which I get it.
Which is, exactly. That's appropriate.
But how many other local distilleries here in Ohio could you say that's a camping bottle? I could take that. Flavor wise, everything, I could take that camping and still get this feeling, this reaction.
Of normal batches, so nothing special, just normal batches, I don't think so. Like Watershed, we all love Watershed, right. But to me, that's not a camping bottle. I don't generally take Watershed camping with me. I don't know what Middle West normal is.
I think the only other one we haven't put in the lineup here, so we can talk about it because we're not going to be doing it. And I thought about this after I spoke with you, Steve, is regular High West.
Oh, High West. Yeah. That
actually would be a good one, right? Yeah. That one I could see throwing in a backpack and away you go. You know what I mean? That one, we have some other ones lined up. There's another one that I'm thinking of that I'll talk about later on that we're not going to do, but that could, and I'm kind of glad we're not doing because I don't like it, but it would also go along with the vibe.
Okay. But can you think of any like Ohio distilleries that fits that?
No, I can't think of anything like that. I'd be like, nothing from Middle West comes to mind. Certainly nothing from High Banks. Same thing with Watershed. And honestly, like at first I was like, I don't know if this would fit, but the more I look at the bottle and the more I drink it, honestly, everything but maybe the price, which again is not a big deal because you're paying local. This is a local bottle, so that's different. I'm just saying the price because you're not going to want to take anything too expensive camping because if it breaks, right, you don't give that much of a care about it. You're more upset because you don't have something to drink than you are about losing a $60 bottle, right? So like if you can get it closer to that 30, 40 your top end, just because it's camping, right? Other than that, this actually fits the bill. This actually really fits the bill in my mind in a flask. So, and that's something when I go camping, there's fly fishing involved if I can get to it. And if there's fly fishing involved, there's pipe smoking and flask drinking definitely involved because that goes in the fishing jacket. You know what I mean? And I just feel like on a hot day in a cold stream, this stuff actually would go down pretty nice.
I wish Mary was more into camping than what she is. She hates bugs.
Winter camping is the win. There's no bugs and there's no people. It is cold,
but you dress up and you get the fire going.
She needs a place to go to the bathroom and a shower, all in like a nice facility.
Yeah. Most state parks now have that.
A nice facility?
A lot of them do.
Nice for camping or nice for hotels?
I mean, not as good as a hotel.
Okay.
But
She's
better
Bob
than
when it
you're
comes
imagining a camping.
See, I'm cool with pooping in a bucket, but you do need to be by water. If it's not, and I really need it I need clean water in a stream because that's what I'm used to, right? So I always camp right by the water. So for one thing, that kind of deals with the bug problem a little bit. And if you get hot, you just dump. I mean, you're in the water most of the time, and you're fishing for your breakfast and dinner if you can. But like if you take a dump, you just go to the stream and wash your hands. You know what I mean? Like you're not having to worry about it. So that's what I need more than a toilet because I can poop in I can poop in a hole. I actually kind of prefer that, to be honest with you. Like
fertilize the ground.
Well, I mean, you can just go right away. Like you're walking 5 feet versus like I got to go 20 minutes to go because I've been to those campgrounds where there is a toilet, but you might be kind of away from it.
Right.
Depending on where you.
And nobody wants to hold. You don't want to pinch that off if you can help it, right?
But like the thing of like, I love camping. I like nature. I like being able to get out during the day. I have nothing but the sun, nature kind of feel, right? This is a bottle that I feel like you could have during the day and at night. Oh, yeah. Well, this is not a like, this only fits for the campfire. This only fits when it gets cold out. Right. It fits when it's warm out. And then at night you're like, this still fits. Like this still works because it's still warming, but not like
it's not
crazy hot.
And that's what I was saying. It doesn't have like that finish that's kind of cling a little too much, which you don't want in that situation. You do want flavor, but you don't want it to be too much.
Right. When we were talking about this idea and doing like campfire bottles, the problem is like for me, my head trying to match flavors, I go to like scotches and stuff and like, that's not what you want in a hot summer day.
No, it overpowers.
And so,
We've talked about that with tobacco.
Yeah.
You don't want something too strong when you're drinking something too strong. Smoke-wise.
I haven't gone camping for a long, long time. But there's something to be said about that camp food that you're like, it's almost like a Prince dinner. Like it's almost like it's not as good as like a Prince dinner, but that flavor, like you don't want to ruin the flavor of like a camping.
When you're hungry for it most of the time, so it tastes that much better.
That's the thing. But when you're camping, it's always amazes me. Like I'll be camping and we'll have a really long day of doing all this cool stuff, and we come home and we cook basically like nonsense chicken and vegetables, maybe a baked potato. Like it's not a fancy meal, but it tastes so incredibly good. And it's just because you're in the woods and you're hungry and you didn't really know you were hungry. Like I don't eat a lot when I'm camping because I'm just busy doing stuff. And so when I do sit down and eat, it's like, oh, turns out I was hungry and I didn't like really realize it. And now this is incredibly good.
But those memories, like as you're younger, like, oh, great camp food. But as you get older, you're like, I'm kind of excited for this meal. Like I can't wait for the flavor or non-flavor that I'm going to get out of this. In my mind, I'm like, I don't want a whiskey that's going to overpower that, even though that's not really good, like great flavor compared to like a restaurant. It's the memory, like it's the environment, it's the memory. I wouldn't want whiskey to overpower that.
Yeah, you want to keep it light, but you want to have good flavor. It's I think this would go great with a bowl of beans and fried fish. You know what I mean? Which is like kind of what I eat, and then eggs and bacon. You know what I mean? Like that's like camping food to me. I think this would go great with that, or a hobo stew. Yeah. You know, like this is good. I like it. I think
I'm kind of surprised that you like it as much as you do.
Based on the nose, and I forgot I had tried it before, but so today I'm coming in as a completely like I didn't know I'd tried this. I forgot, but I just smelled it and I was like, there's some nice things going on, but it also like this smells like it's not going to be good. And then I was surprised,
very pleasantly surprised. I remembered having it before, and I was trying to figure out how to turn that into a positive. But again, it's just one of those things. Every circumstance, when you're trying whiskeys, which is that's part of the reason we don't do reviews or like flavor stuff on here too much, because we're smoking a pipe with it. Like we do things that changes. Exactly.
And we don't want to be pretentious.
And we're not using Glencairn glasses or anything like that. You know, we're not swishing
it around and spitting it out.
That's sacrilege.
Right.
Remember that spit buckets? Like, what the heck? Give me all those spit buckets.
That's the reason we talk more about the distilleries and kind of the vibe that you get from the bottle more than the actual flavors.
Now, do you know anything about the owners that started this?
So it's a couple of buddies. They're both from Ohio here. They hadn't done this previous. Or
So
anything.
this was not their profession prior.
No.
Okay.
And so they just kind of met up and decided to try to get into it. I don't think I found anything on like their history.
Now I'm curious to really meet with them because the first time we had it, I was like, what are they adding to this to get that flavor? Like it seems like there's something adding.
Yep. It is a family operation, so the kids and everything are involved also. They have farming in their family, and so they have some of that.
So it sounds like, I mean, they've really got a passion for a specific flavor, but also from the whole grain to glass idea. Yeah. So with them not having this not being their prior experience or prior job, now I'd really like to figure out like what got you into this. Was it like you guys loved just drinking?
Right.
Like was it a specific type of whiskey that you guys went after? Was it Canadian? Was it bourbon? Was it from a certain place? Like what really was the draw for this? Because that doesn't seem odd. But I look at like Cleveland, I look at like Cincinnati. Those guys didn't start in that profession right away. They came from kind of the IT world. Yeah. And this is like far above their stuff, even, which is interesting to me to like look at and think about. Like they didn't try anything experimental, but yet this feels very experimental to me. Yeah. But they didn't go the techie experimental way.
No. The only things like they only have 2 bottles that are on the shelves on a regular basis. This and a limoncello. Oh wow. And that's it. So they don't have a vodka or a gin. They only have these 2.
So are they Italian?
They didn't look Italian.
Okay. Limoncello is very Italian.
Limoncello is very
not
Italian.
A lot of people are doing that.
Right.
There's a lot of people doing rums and vodkas and gins and whatnot, but limoncello is not something.
Yeah, not so much
too often.
Nope. They also do private barrels of this. Okay. And so there are a few throughout Ohio that you can get that different restaurants have gotten. Opa's up in Delaware has one and some others, and they do it cask strength.
That's what I'm talking about.
When they do the private barrel stuff. And so I know Opa's had one. I don't know if they still do or not, but I know they used to. The Blarney Stone here in Dublin has one, and some other places that are throughout Columbus area has them. They're obviously too small to be out and about in other states and things. As far as I know, they're only in Ohio.
Are they using 53-gallon barrels?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So this is clearly their main thing, right? Yes. So they're not really doing anything else.
That's it. Yeah. Like I said, this YouTube video I watched, they had some stuff in the works for a rye. And then they also are messing with their mash bill a little bit, it seems.
I mean, I kind of like that, though. Like, I really like the idea of just doing one thing really well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I really do.
Yeah. And they're only 6 years old, so they haven't had enough time really to do too much more.
We've seen plenty that are 6 years old that have too much stuff.
Yes.
They're doing too much.
Yeah. Like when you start getting into flavored stuff, like if that's the route you go, you can have 7 different flavored things because you're not really changing that much. You're changing whatever that flavoring is. But yeah, so I think you can just do a lot of things with that, which it could be a problem. It's too many things.
I also feel like they're hitting a special sect of the bourbon world and bourbon community by doing, if each batch is different, even different mash bill, different flavor, like they're hitting kind of that collectible kind of feel within the bourbon community where it's like, this batch is going to be different from this one. Therefore, I want that batch along with this one. Yeah. I want to collect them all kind of feel, which is, I don't know any other craft distillery that really goes after that, or even more specifically in Ohio. I don't know anyone that does that.
I mean, Watershed has their uncut, unfiltered, but there isn't a huge, that's more of like a Booker's sort of deal where it is different, but only if you're really a whiskey guy, like only if you really know what you're talking about, can you piece those things out. Whereas if it's this and if they're still trying to figure out their mash bill and things where every batch is going to be a different mash bill, like you can get some pretty drastic differences.
Which is fun.
Yeah.
I think that's fun because especially if your product is this good. Again, I had hopes, but I don't know that I had high hopes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at how much I'm liking it.
I know, right?
And again, I'm putting this in I'm just thinking about like a camping whiskey too, specifically. Like it's good otherwise as well, but I'm just thinking specifically it's camp whiskey. This actually is really good.
It really is.
Really, really well for that. What do you think about the Northwoods?
I love Northwoods.
You loving it?
Yeah, I will for sure be getting a tin of this. I haven't bought tobacco in a while, and so I've been kind of working through my tobaccos because I had opened them, so they're not cellared or anything. So I want to use them and get rid of them and move on and buy some other ones. Right. This is a top of the list one to get for me now. You've had it not aged and aged now. Is there a big difference, or is it about the same?
Not a big difference. That's what I was going to say. I think what it would really be the noticeable difference is smokability. I think it's just smoking so well. Like it's behaving so well. And I think that is because of the age. Not that it didn't before, but it's just hard to get any tobacco to smoke this well.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. I have nothing but white.
Yeah.
White,
fine white ash
at the top. And
it's like you don't really need a whole lot of relights unless you're really like letting it go out. And it's the perfect moisture content that you get only with something that was made right and then aged right. But yeah, it's especially for that cut of tobacco, sometimes that struggles. It's doing really well. Flavor wise, though, it's just as good as I remember it used to be. So it might be a hair better just because of the age, but I don't think you would have a noticeable difference between something new and this. You know what I mean? As far as new Northwoods versus this.
Now you said that does this one have a hint of aromatic stuff in it too, or is other stuff?
No, supposedly this one does too. I'd have to look at it again. I read that a while back that every one of his blends has a touch of aromatic.
And this is burley.
Yeah. Or maybe, wait, no, I had it backwards. I think every blend has a touch of Latakia in it. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Although I do think that there is the Virginias in this. It do have an part of sweetness. And that's the same as it was with McClellan. But I'd have to look at my phone, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I had it backwards. Every one of his blends, including the aromatics, have some Latakia in it. That's what it is. So even if you
that
get
makes more sense to me. Yeah.
And he's got like some really interesting sounding aromatics that I've never tried. And you get samplers, but he's got stuff like strudel, like certain strudels and berry cobblers and like stuff that sounds like it would be delicious, right? And it probably smells amazing. But as a pipe smoker, might not smoke that well. Well, his aromatics, since they have that little bit of Latakia, they smoke actually really good. Like they actually taste good too. Because I've had a few of his aromatics, and some of them obviously have more English than others. Like the one I was talking about, Countryside.
Yeah.
That's what the name was, Countryside. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's a really good one. It's probably like a 50-50, right? It's a crossover English blend. Okay. But the other ones, I've only had a few of his aromatics, but they're very aromatics. But there's probably like 5% Latakia. So nothing, you would never say this is an English tobacco or I really get the campfire. No, but there's something in that makes you go, this actually is pretty good. You know what I mean? I think it's adding that little bit of backbone to each one of those aromatic blends.
Right, which is what it needs. Because The
reason I asked about the aromatic thing was it smells very mellow, like very friendly and mellow. It's got a good room note.
But see, that's how McClellan was too. Yeah. And for such a stout English blend, Laura was like, I really like the smell of that. She goes, you know what it smells like? And Nick, you'd be the one to tell us if this is the case because we're smoking. We can't tell. But she said it kind of smells like the incense in a Catholic church, like in a good way.
Okay, I can get that.
Yeah, because she goes to mass, you know what I mean? And she was like, it kind of has that like,
it's got that
church smell to it,
like almost like a mix of like light pepper, like fresh cracked pepper in the air kind of feel, but very light, very light of that. But it does have, because I think incense and I think like very strong like Oriental kind of smell, and this is like a nice kind of down to earth with a like hint of pepper kind of feel. But very mellow. It's not like intense. It's not like in your face what I expect for like a burley kind of
Northwoods. Yeah, it's like something you would think out of the Lord of the Rings, right? Yeah. Which again is kind of like the whole idea behind like McClellan's blends a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I've always thought it was good. I always like the smell of it. For an English blend, it doesn't smell bad.
No. Yeah, Englishes generally are stout. They're strong.
People don't like the smell of it.
Yeah. they usually don't have the best room note because of that. So that's good that it's as mellow as it is in the air.
That means you can have that at home.
All right, leather and oak.
Leather and oak.
Final thoughts?
I'm not disappointed.
No, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
Like I said, we've had it once before, and we weren't a huge fan of it at the time, and so now revisiting it, and this is the same bottle, so it's
Same
not a
bottle,
batch
yeah,
thing.
no.
It's the exact same bottle. So revisiting again was a really pleasant surprise on that, and we'll definitely have to reach out to them and see if maybe we can get them on the podcast too and do
I
a
think
little
it'd be great.
interview
Yeah,
with them,
nice interview with
or at least answer some questions when we're there.
Yes. Yeah. And I would think this would be good if we're talking camping. I feel like this would be a good. It'd be on the high end that you want to spend, maybe, but
a little bit more
but perfect,
expensive.
yeah.
So if you're a camper in like an RV sort of deal, then where you don't have to worry about breaking things, then it's for sure.
You might not want to throw this in a backpack, but you could throw it in a camper.
Excellent.
Till next time.
Till next time. Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you want more great content and other perks, be sure to support the show by clicking the link in the show notes. We can be reached on our website, whiskeychaserspod.com, with any ideas for the show. Thanks again.